Hello students, today we will be talking about a lesson in social psychology which is rumors and propaganda. The main objectives in this lesson are to understand the concept of rumor, definition and meaning of rumor, characteristics of rumor, psychological factors in rumor spreading and its management, the concept of propaganda, meaning and definition of propaganda, need for propaganda, types and techniques of propaganda. When information spreads without verification of facts, it is known as a rumor. Rumor usually spreads when people are uncertain or anxious about a situation. It spreads quickly through social media. The false information affects people involved in it. Importance of the topic and ambiguity nature of the topic are important characteristics of a rumor. Psychological factors such as ego satisfaction, preconceived ideas and attitudes, attention seeking and emotional component lead to quick spreading of rumors. Rumors in a small group can be managed by developing strong communication system and by interacting face to face with the group members. Propaganda is a technique that controls the attitude of the people. It is very useful for social progress when used systematically. However, it also has negative consequences when not used in an organized manner. Right kind of propaganda can help to educate people about various social problems. Hence, there is a tremendous need to adopt propaganda on a number of social problems. Propaganda can be classified into different types such as direct and indirect, primary and secondary, and conscious and unconscious. The various techniques of propaganda are name-calling device, plain folk appeal, glittering generalization, testimony and suggestion, card stacking and bandwagon effect. These techniques of propaganda, when used transparently and without selfish motives, will lead to social progress. But when used with underlying selfish motive and using false information, can cause harm to the society. Hence, it is important that techniques of propaganda should be used properly. Now, let's move on to the main lesson. First, the concept of rumor. Rumor is a word familiar to all of us. When information spreads without verification of facts, it is known as a rumor. In psychology, a rumor is a declaration that is generally conceivable, meaning believable, associated with news and is widespread without checking. Generally, rumors arise and spread when people are uncertain and anxious about a topic of personal relevance to them and when rumor appears credible given the sensibilities of people involved in the spread. For example, in recent COVID-19 pandemic situation, so many rumors spread about the number of cases, vaccine, medicines, how to cure it, etc. Earlier, rumors would spread through word of mouth and largely also due to mass media such as television and newspapers. With the advent of digitalization, development of communication, it is making the rumors spread more and more quickly. In recent years, the development of online social networks such as Facebook, LiveJournal, Twitter, YouTube and other social networks has further accelerated the spread of rumors. Thus, the study of rumor, its spread and management has become increasingly important in present day. Now, let us understand definition and meaning of rumor. Rumors are unverified information that people circulate to make sense of an unclear situation or to deal with a possible threat. Rumors are about issues or situations of current interest. Rumors are like news, except that news is accompanied by a solid evidence and rumor is not. Robert H. Knapp defined rumor as a proposition for belief of topical reference disseminated without official verification. Defonso and Baudia defined rumor as unverified and instrumentally relevant information statements in circulation that arise in the context of ambiguity, danger or potential threat and that function to help people make sense and manage risk. In simpler words, a rumor is a piece of information or a story that has not been verified, meaning that the person telling it doesn't know if it is true or false. Rumors spread from person to person or can spread from one person to whole bunch of people at once. They can slightly change each time they are told, so they get more exaggerated over time. Rumors start from simple facts, and as they spread, they become elaborated into stories of great emotional significance. Most people who spread rumors don't care if the story is true or not, and don't bother to check it out. It might be true, partially and partially made up, or it might be totally made up. Unless somebody can definitely say that a story is real or fake, it will stay as a rumor. Then next is characteristics of rumors. The characteristics of rumors explain why rumors spread rapidly. It has been found that rumors spread rapidly in time of crisis. For example, when there is a threat of war, many rumors break out. Sometimes these rumors may be deliberately made to create crisis and social unrest. According to Allport and Postman, rumor has two characteristics, namely its importance and its ambiguity. Importance of the topic about which the rumor starts has a vital role in its spread. Rumors are not spread about trivial matters. People just listen to trivial matters and will be indifferent to it. On the other hand, if the information is about someone important or about something important event, it leads to curiosity and anxiety. This makes the rumor spread faster. For example, if the rumor is about the wedding of a film star, it will arouse curiosity and excitement amongst the fans. Similarly, if the rumor is about important aspects such as a war in the country, it will lead to anxiety. In both cases, people tend to communicate information to other people quickly. The second important characteristic of rumor is that the whole situation is vague and ambiguous. Rumors will not spread if people have factual information in which they have complete confidence. For example, reputed newspapers try to publish only facts as they are held responsible, and hence spread of rumors through newspapers is less. Whereas rumors spread faster through social media, as individuals using them often are not accountable to anyone. Rumors feed on ignorance and lack of information. This becomes more acute when people are troubled by situation of crisis and social unrest. They tend to fill the gaps in their knowledge with fancied explanations that lead to widespread circulation of rumors. Next, we will talk about psychological factors in rumor spreading. The first one is ego satisfaction. People are very happy when they find that the so-called big men are just as foolish and as weak as they themselves are. Rumor is a special kind of suggestion. People tend to accept uncritically what is asserted with an air of authority or an air of mystery. Further, they tend to accept a story about another man which satisfies their ego. The next one is preconceived ideas and attitudes. This is another psychological factor which favors the spread of rumors. It is preconceived ideas and attitudes of people. People like stories which fit in with their prevailing dispositions and attitudes. For example, a very religious person will accept the rumor about another religion quickly. The next one is attention seeking. People tend to spread rumors to gain attention or publicity. This often happens in entertainment industry, where film stars try to gain attention by spreading rumors about themselves. Then comes emotional component. Emotions such as fear, anxiety will also lead to quick rumor spread. When people are threatened by an uncertain situation, it encourages a lot of fake news and rumors. Next, we will talk about how to manage rumors. When the group is small, for example at workplace, it is easier to manage the spread of rumors. By developing strong communication system, by discussing fact with the group members, by interacting face to face, and by removing grievances of group members helps to avoid spreading false information. But when rumors spread at a large scale, for example in a war-stricken country, it leads to more anxiety and fear. Hence, it is important for people to analyze and judge the information correctly before passing on to others. People should take care and avoid rumors which do more harm, especially through social media. Next, we will talk about the concept of propaganda. The propaganda is a technique that controls the attitudes of people. When it is used as a systematic manner over a long period of time by a well-organized group, it is very beneficial for the social change. For example, the widespread propaganda about the polio disease and vaccination has helped to eradicate the disease. Next, we will talk about meaning and definition of propaganda. The word propaganda is derived from the Latin word propagare, which means to generate or reproduce in an artificial manner. This indicates that propaganda does not take place simultaneously but has to be produced and generated by someone. Newcomb defines propaganda as a systematic attempt by means of mass communication to influence attitudes. Numbly holds that propaganda means forced generation with a definite end in mind. Young defines propaganda as the propagation of ideas, opinions and attitudes, and the real purpose of which is not being clear to the hearer or the reader. According to Doop, propaganda is a systematic attempt by interested individuals to control the attitudes of groups of individuals through the use of suggestions and consequently to control their action. Thus, the term propaganda can be given two meanings. First, the positive approach, where propaganda helps to bring in social progress by changing the attitude of people. For example, the smoking is injurious to health advertisement shown in theatres before the movie is one such propaganda which helped in bringing awareness among people. On the other hand, there is an adverse view regarding propaganda as an attempt to control behavior of individuals by misleading them, so that propaganda is looked upon as a means of spread falsehood. For example, at the time of election, the different political parties try not only to change the attitude but also to control action of people using propaganda. Some of these may be baseless and misleading. Then we come to need for propaganda. In spite of stigma attached to the concept of propaganda, it has lot of practical importance. Propaganda can be used to bring social change, to eradicate aspects such as gender bias, prejudice towards minorities and socially economically disadvantaged people. Right kind of propaganda can help to educate people about certain diseases like cancer, AIDS, etc. It can also bring awareness of aspects such as road safety, child abuse, domestic violence and other social problems. Therefore, Accident Prevention Weeks, International Women's Day, 5K or 2K runs are observed, where people go on procession on roads with placards, banners and posters to draw attention of people. Radios and televisions also broadcast and telecast respectively various propaganda related materials to increase consciousness of people and change their attitude. So, there is tremendous need to adopt propaganda on a number of social issues and social behaviors. Propaganda should not be selfish interest and personal motive based and should not be confusing. It should not be linked with any kind of fear, pressure or favor. There are various types of propaganda. These types can be classified into 1. Direct and indirect, 2. Primary and secondary, 3. Conscious and unconscious. First is direct and indirect. In direct propaganda, the public is aware of the purpose of propagandist. For instance, propaganda campaigns taken up by government or voluntary social organization on family planning, prohibition, literacy, women's welfare, education for all, saving schemes, national integration, health care and protection from infectious diseases. All these come under the category of direct propaganda. Here, the purpose of propaganda is very clear and there is no selfish motive. People are aware of the objective of propaganda and it is transparent. Indirect propaganda refers to that type where people are not aware of the objective and purpose of the propaganda. It is concealed. The propagandists in this technique try to change the views, ideas, beliefs and attitudes of people in a very tactful and subtle manner as per their desire. For example, the national sentiments of patriotism are aroused among the fellow countrymen by national leaders during wartime for national integration. The purpose behind such propaganda is to persuade more and more people to join the army to save the country through the arousal of patriotism. Then comes primary and secondary propaganda. The propagandist tries to investigate and excite the attitudes and prejudices that already exist through primary propaganda. For example, the tension between the Hindu and Muslim, the upper caste and the lower caste continues from past into present. In secondary propaganda, however, no previous attitude, belief, prejudice or mental set is present. Through secondary propaganda, new tendencies and thoughts are set in the minds of people. Then comes conscious and unconscious propaganda. Conscious propaganda is done purposefully and with some intention, like propaganda made for a particular political party at the time of election. But in unconscious propaganda, the propagandist has no intention to propagate something. It appears accidentally and unknowingly. For instance, people like a particular political party and talk about it all the time. Here they have no intention to propagate but does it unintentionally. Then we move on to techniques of propaganda. In 1937, Clyde Miller started an Institute of Propaganda Analysis in New York. It was established before the last World War as a non-profit corporation for scientific research in methods used by the propagandist in influencing public opinion. The purpose of this organization was to make the public immune from propaganda and make them think and behave more rationally. The Institute of Propaganda Analysis focused on some methods of techniques used in propaganda. The techniques of propaganda widely used are discussed here. First is name calling device. Clyde has observed that propagandists, by scolding the opponent or telling ugly things against the rival, diminishes the strength of the rival party or the opponent. People of one political party speaking unfavorable things against the rival political party are a common scene during elections. Name calling is this type which is very much observed on the eve of political propaganda. The next technique is plain folk appeal. Some people who generally keep themselves aloof from the public take part in large number of public activities at the time of elections. Their participation is meant to touch the sentiments of the public. By creating a healthy atmosphere and cordial relation between the public and a propagandist, they make themselves appear as ordinary people. Like for example, eating midday meal or lunch along with children in remote rural school, or eating dal chapati with poor folk sitting on the floor. It is a tactics to appeal the common folk and reach nearer to their heart. Then comes the third one, glittering generalization. Certain slogans, high sounding attractive words are used by the propagandist to touch the mind of the audience and carry it with them. For example, slogans during the protests to save environment are "the solution is less pollution" or "conserve what our children deserve." With the help of these slogans, people are made aware of importance of the environment. But on the other hand, there are some slogans which are mere generalizations. Though they are catchy at the outset, actually these slogans are superficial and meant only to create a conflicting situation. For instance, one beverages advertisement slogan is "It's not for women." Another slogan, "What brown can do." This triggers racism. Next comes another technique, testimony or suggestion. These techniques make use of prestige suggestion so that people who are not very critical are influenced by this type of propaganda. A testimonial from a reputed individual can increase the value of the subject being propagated. For example, celebrities endorsing the products through such advertisements can be apt in this situation. Then comes the next techniques, which is called as card stacking. This term has colloquial origin. It refers to outright invention, suppression or distortion of facts in the interests of some selfish end. Facts are twisted, molded to suit one's own view. This involves types of falsifications, illogical statements and distortions are made to mislead the public. In the distortion technique, plain lies often work admirably, at least for the time being. The Pakistani press, radio, TV, media always try to project that India is making atom bombs and military preparations, and this is a real threat to sovereignty and independence of their country. Also, other medias of communication including opinion polls not based on correct sampling and large number of cases try to spread false news and distort beliefs and attitudes of public. In industrial conflicts, for example, newspapers unfriendly to labor unions may conceal the real facts and grievances of the laborers that actually prompted the strike. Instead, the newspaper may emphasize the unruly and rough behavior of employees towards the employers. In the most of the industrial strikes, the employers take hold of the mass media so that the grievances of the employees are not publicized. Thus, the employees fail to gain the sympathy of the public and even of the other employees elsewhere, and completely opposite reaction in the public is noticed. In card stacking technique, there is one-sided propaganda. This method of propaganda is immoral and misleading, but extensively used at all levels of propaganda and in the national and international field. Then we talk about bandwagon effect. It is general tendency of people to go by majority opinion, particularly because majority opinion has the power of suggestions. They do not consider the merit of the case or issue in question. They think that since the majority of people are doing it, the action must be correct. The tendency to be with the victorious side leads to the success of the bandwagon technique. It is well known that few people like to be with the minority unless that is supposed to be an important way to make for a social cause or for maintaining the culture. Findings of a number of studies support the bandwagon technique as an effective method of propaganda. The view that most people change their opinion and attitude in the direction of what they believe to be majority sentiment rather than in the direction of the expert judgment is found to be correct. Thus, a person should be very clear in looking upon propaganda as a technique which could be used for good of the individuals and the group as a whole, or to mislead and exploit the individuals and the group as a whole. So, the fault here is not with the techniques of propaganda, but with the way in which certain individuals or group of individuals use these techniques for their own ends and not for the social progress. Now, let us talk about a case study which helps us to understand how rumors can affect the individuals. Now, this case study is about Twitter account hack of Associated Press. On 23rd April 2013 Tuesday at 1:07 p.m., a Twitter post on official account of Associated Press with more than 2 million followers, one of the most influential American news agencies, reporting 2 explosions at White House allegedly causing President Barack Obama injured, shook up the world. Within a few minutes, the original tweet, breaking, 2 explosions in the White House and Barack Obama is injured, generated thousands of retweets with numerous uncontrolled variants and reaching millions across the world. When the other agencies verified this news, it was found that news of attack was fake and AP Twitter account had been hacked. The diffusion of the fake news of a terror attack panicked the Americans and people across the globe. Just after 1 minute at 1:08 p.m., the Dow Jones had a short-lived nosedive. The market dropped close to 150 points before it stabilized at 1:10 p.m. when news of AP account hacked began to spread. As a direct outcome, the Dow Jones plunging 147 points within 3 minutes, one of the notable drops in the points of its history. Just after the confirmation of Twitter hack of AP, the stock market recovered. However, by that time, the panic of the terrorist attack wiped away $136 billion in the equity market value. Nearly an hour later, a group of hackers identifying themselves as Syrian Electronic Army took the responsibility for the cyber attack in the support of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. This incident, diffusing fake news across over cyberspace, creating panic and huge financial loss in real world, made the world to ponder upon the enormous damage caused by cyber propaganda. It raised concern world over on the possible new form of cyber attack with fake news, leveraging social media to generate mass hysteria and huge financial loss. The Twitter account hack of Associated Press left the world with the eyes wide open concerning the possible risk of security of social media resulting from identity theft. The event introduced the world to the potentially dangerous power and abuse of social media for damaging the real world, especially on the financial institutions and markets. Today we have spoken about a lesson on rumors and propaganda, which is part of social psychology. Rumor is a word which we all are familiar with. We all hear so many rumors every day. Today we have seen the definition and meaning of rumors, how rumors is spread, especially quickly and rapidly through social media, How it can be managed? Generally, rumors are managed easily when the group is small, but when the group is large and the rumors are large scale, like it's on the whole country, it becomes important for all of us to judge which is correct and which is wrong, and only pass on information which is useful for others. Nowadays, we are seeing so much of information which is more harmful than doing a good job. Then we spoke about propaganda. Propaganda is two ways. It can be positive if it is used properly in a systematic and organized manner. It can also bring about lot of negative consequences when it is used for selfish motives. Therefore, it is important that propaganda should be used properly and in an organized manner. There is evidence, and we have seen that propaganda has been used to bring about so much of social change and brought about awareness about many social problems in our country. For example, eradication of polio, awareness about AIDS disease was brought about by organized and systematic propaganda by government. It is also seen that during elections, political parties use these strategies of propaganda for their selfish motives to control the attitudes of the people. Therefore, again, it is important for people themselves to understand what is propaganda and whether it is used for the benefit of the society.